What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Ghost of Lord Master Starscream. And tonight, joining me, as always, is Ruben. How are you doing tonight?
Good.
Good, man. Good. And tonight, well, actually, I should have put a part one and a part this on here, but you know, I'm going to have to retitle everything. But tonight will be part one of the Prime Wars trilogy, and tonight will be, I'm going to be. And also, well, hang on, and also, real quick, for what Ruben can remember of Combiner Wars. But, anyways, I'm going to be doing a review on the Combiner Wars Part 1. I'm not going to be talking about Titan's Return or Power of the Primes on here. But, and by the way, for those who have never seen the Prime Wars trilogy, excuse me, you can watch the episodes on YouTube. And also, if you don't want any spoilers, this is your chance to back out now. And also, a lot of people don't like the Prime Wars trilogy. They don't recommend it to any fans, but me personally, this is the channel where I have to object to that. So, no offense, but screw the haters. Who cares what they say? But anyways.
Haters gonna hate. Me gusta.
That goes for all haters in the world. Ooh, excuse me.
You did a Rick Morty.
Oh God. Oh my goodness, man. But anyways. And I'm not gonna go from episode to episode because that would take too long. Plus, that'd be so many live streams. So I'm just gonna pack it all in. We'll be jumping around here and there. So we ain't gonna go in no order, but we will be like I said, talking about the things we liked, I guess didn't like, and yeah, and all that. But anyways, hang on. Anyways. Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought I got a text. But anyways, from what you can remember, what did you think about part 1 of the Prime Wars trilogy of Combiner Wars, Ruben?
It was like a slowing start, if I can remember. It was when they showed when the Combiner War series. It was a slow start. Like the voice of Prime is just like why didn't put Peter Carr instead of why are you putting that guy instead of Peter Cullen?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I don't like.
Yeah.
That's all I'm about to say, and that's it.
Hold on a minute. All right, sorry. You know what? I might as well have also some Google type stuff on here. Hold on. Who played Optimus Prime in the Prime Wars trilogy?
According to Wikipedia, Optimus Prime, voiced by John Bailey, Combiner Wars, Peter Cullen, Titan's Return and Power of the Primes, the former leader of the Autobots.
Okay, so that explains why Optimus Prime is voiced. Yeah, so that's why. Okay, so that does explain why Optimus Prime's voice changed here and there. So they got one actor to play Optimus Prime at first, then Peter Cullen came back. Okay. All right.
People demands Peter Cullen the voice of Prime.
I have to say, John Bailey. I mean, he did good as Optimus at first. Like he kind of had a Peter Cullen going on, but unless they combine both voices, his voice and that, because that's what they did with the Bumblebee movie. They combined two voices. So, for those who didn't know, but anyways, and real quick, I do want to point this out. There is so many good voice actors in this. Like I like the actor that played Megatron. What did you think about Megatron in the Prime Wars trilogy and him like being a good guy?
I was surprised. Megatron became good for no reason, but the voice actor's okay.
I actually like that he became a good guy.
So yeah.
No, it wasn't Frank Welker. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
I think it's the same voice actor that played Megatron in Siege. But I gotta say, I actually enjoyed this Megatron. Specifically, I think it's episode 3. Let me look. Hold on. Because in Combiner Wars, there is an episode that I like that is 100% my favorite. And it's the introduction to Megatron. Let me see what episode it is real quick. I want to make sure. Hold on a minute. It is episode... No, it's episode 4. Yeah, episode 4 was the introduction to Megatron. The very first episode he appears in. I gotta say, I like that episode, especially the dialogue that him and Optimus Prime were having. Like, talking about that Megatron wanted peace, Optimus Prime has no peace, and the great Optimus Prime is nothing without a war. And Prime is totally denying everything, that he does not crave war, but Megatron is just saying that he does. And I like that Megatron is pretty much blaming Optimus Prime for everything, because, like, since they all had a treaty and all that stuff, Megatron is just straight out telling him the truth, saying that you left Cybertron to burn and all that stuff. He gave up on everything because of the treaty. And it's also because of Optimus Prime. He did not kill Megatron in the first place, as you see in flashbacks in episode 4, when you first see Megatron. But yeah, like I said, the voice actors were pretty good. And also, for those who don't know, Gary Guzman, hopefully I said his name right, he is the voice of Minosaur. And not a lot of people know this. I would show the channel on here, but I don't know. I've been showing channels on here, and I don't want to try to take a risk showing a big YouTuber, because I don't know how YouTube will feel like that. But anyways, for those who don't know, there's a YouTuber on here that does Mario Maker rage type stuff, or he rages the F out, I should say, and his name is Dachi Gaming, or Dachi Games, I believe, excuse me. But yeah, if you go look him up on YouTube, Dachi Games, that's his name on YouTube. He doesn't use his real name, and I pretty much already gave out his real name anyways, but I'm sure a lot of people had to have known this. But yeah, Gary Guzman, or Dachi Games, he plays Minosaur in the Prime Wars trilogy. In all 3 parts, Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes. And I'm curious, what did you think about that? That one of our favorite YouTubers is actually the voice of Minosaur.
I didn't even notice the. Well, I don't know much about Dachi Games, but I didn't know they use some of the YouTubers as for the Power of the Prime series.
And I'll send you a link to his channel on Facebook. But yeah,
I know who he is. Don't worry.
Huh?
I know who he is. So yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so yeah, he's the voice of Minosaur, and I actually liked his version of Minosaur. Like, he has the voice that you hear in his YouTube videos. Like, he's going like, okay, well, that didn't work. Like, that's how he sounds. And plus, I don't think he's Puerto Rican. I think he's Japanese or half. I don't know. I think he's actually Puerto Rican. I don't know, but all I know is I don't. You know what? I'm not gonna get into that. I really don't want to piss a lot of people off. But if I got it wrong, please correct me in the comment section. I do apologize. I really, really do. But yeah, I actually like that. Excuse me. He's the voice of Minosaur. Like I said, I actually liked his version of Minosaur. Like I said, the voice and all that.
Yep.
And especially for a Computron, I don't think you get to hear much of no, you don't hear much of Computron in this in hang on, in Combiner Wars. You don't hear much of his voice. You hear him say some dialogue at the beginning, but they end up changing his voice in Titans Return, which we'll get to tomorrow, because we ain't talking about Titans Return. We're talking about Combiner Wars. But yeah. So yeah, they had some good voice actors. The voice actor of Windblade on here, I believe, is the same actor that plays RC in the War for Cybertron trilogy of Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom, which I'm gonna give another. I'm gonna watch some of those probably after I get done tonight. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's about it for some of the voice actors. And I'm curious. Oh, and also Devastator was pretty good. I like this version of Devastator. And I like that this Devastator's a little different. Like, instead of some a red visor, he has like a purple visor, which I really, really wish they put on the Combiner Wars one. But it's all right. If anyone wants to do that, go ahead and put a sticker on there or paint it, whichever.
I got it covered.
Yeah. And by the way, real quick, for those who are curious on an update on my Shattered Glass Blur, here's what I got so far. I used some of Mistress Slipstream's fingernail polish to do some customizing.
It's just like you're doing just the noob way, but don't worry, you still get like actual paints like the one I have.
Yeah, but look, no matter how much I scrape on it, it doesn't come off. That's how durable it is. But I know it won't last, but still. But yeah, I thought I'd show that off. That's my blur. But and real quick, for those who are curious about the story of the Combiner Wars, I'm not going over the whole trilogy. Like I said, we're going one at a time. But, well, for Combiner Wars, the story is this, that the Combiners are out of control. Like, they're not like all Transformers. Like, the ones that don't combine, they're not like them. Like, Combiners are actually a species. Like the Titans, the Autobots, and Decepticons, and hang on, let me put it like this: the Titans are their own species. Autobots and Decepticons are their own because they're Cybertronians. Windblade species, she's part of Caminus because she's a city speaker. She has her own people. She's her own species, I should say. And the Combiners are their own species. So yeah, basically Combiners are way too dangerous. They're way too destructive. And basically the enigma of combination, which provides all Transformers of combination. And also it's a relic that belongs to the Combiners that I guess the Mistress of Flame, that's one of the council members' names. Starscream, yes, Starscream is part of the council, and Optimus Prime. They're part of a council trying to keep order on Cybertron, and since the Combiners are way too destructive, they're pretty much I'll say this: after the death of Minosaur and Computron, yes, they die right off at the beginning. But later on they come back. But after seeing their lifeless sparks, they're considering that if they should use the Enigma combination to try to control the Combiners. But the thing is this: if they try to control the Combiners, they're unstable because they don't know if they'll make things worse or make things better. So, and pretty much since all the Combiners destroyed Caminus, and Windblade is pretty much all alone after taking out Computron and Minosaur. I forgot her friend's name, but I know she had one of her lady friends with her, but I forgot that particular character's name, and I do apologize. I hope someone will correct me in the comments. But excuse me. So after after a Minosaur pretty much tells Windblade that the Council has the Enigma of Combination and that they're going to create an army of combiners, she goes to try to destroy the Enigma of Combination by taking it out with a sniper rifle, which was a pretty much a dick move. But when Optimus Prime shows up and gets the sniper rifle away from her, excuse me, the shot that she fired accidentally hits me. Hits me directly in the shoulder. Specifically, when I mean me, I mean Starscream. And I know what you... And don't even think about sending a Windblade to shoot me in the arm, Ruben.
Wait.
What?
Too late.
You would totally do that to me, wouldn't you? If that was... Anyways. Alright, I'm going to stop. I don't know. Anyways. So, she explains that, well, Optimus Prime and her end up having a fight, and Windblade ends up telling her what she was doing there, why she was doing what she was doing, and that she wants to destroy the Enigma and I guess give everyone freedom. Optimus Prime saying that destroying the Enigma won't work because it would take a lot of firepower. So Prime says that we need a whole lot more firepower. I know who to see. Then it comes to episode 4, which is the introduction of Megatron, and he's still doing his gladiator stuff. He's just kicking the Constructicons' ass.
Yep.
Like, he just doesn't give a shit. He's just using them to making them, like what Devastator says. Like, later on in one of the episodes, Devastator does not want to take orders from Megatron anymore because, as Devastator put it, you order us to rip ourselves apart over and over again so you feel safe. And that's pretty much what Megatron was doing. He was just kicking their ass over and over again just to feel better. And to feel good about himself. I can't blame him. He just wants to torture his own crew. That's what he does. If I'm not mistaken. But, and I'm curious, what did you think about the fight between, if you remember anything of it, what did you think about the fight between Optimus Prime and Megatron for a reunion?
I was like, all right, they're back at it again. Come on. Let's see who wins and let's see who dies.
Yeah.
That's all I'm about to say, and that's it.
Okay. But yeah, so both Optimus Prime and Windblade end up convincing Megatron because Megatron, after hearing that when Optimus Prime says Starscream has the Enigma of Combination, that automatically sets Megatron just like, oh, okay, I'll join you guys because I'm quoting on what Megatron says, you I hate with all my heart, Prime, but if there's one thing I hate more, it's that idiot Starscream. So he automatically says he's in. And I thought this was funny, and I'm curious on how you feel. But I think it's funny, Megatron ends up mocking Optimus Prime, I guess. He says, what is that you used to say, Prime? Oh, that's right. Transform and roll out. And then Windblade ends up just giggling at that. And Prime just looks over like, are you laughing at that? And then she's like, I ain't laughing. That was just funny, though. You remember that part, Ruben?
Yep.
Did you think that was funny when Megatron did that, or like, nah?
Yep. It was funny.
Not understand. Hey, what's up, guys? Are you guys talking about Combiner Wars? I watched it already. Oh yeah, we're talking about Combiner Wars. Yeah, this is the Combiner Wars live stream. Tomorrow we'll talk about Titans Return. You know what? I'm gonna hook up my headphones. That way people could hear me better. Because now I have some headsets or headphones.
Yeah, well, I was
That
about
way
to
you
say there's some echo going on.
Okay, how's that? Hold on.
Much
How's
better.
that? All right.
I already finished playing
Anyways.
Hogwarts for today.
Oh, nice. But anyways, and let's see. And don't forget Power of the Primes. Oh yeah, we're gonna do all 3 parts, man. Yeah, I won't forget Power of the Primes. Yeah, I'm gonna do these live streams a day. Tonight will be like I said, Combiner Wars. Then Titan's Return will be tomorrow, and yeah. But anyways, yeah, and you feel free to share whatever you would like to share, Joaquin, and how you felt, or anything that you like or didn't like. But anyways, so yeah, they end up going to the council, and Megatron's just like, this is my favorite line. Ruben, please tell me if you remember this. I just like what Megatron says. When the Optimus Prime and Windblade are just doing all stealthy, Megatron's just sitting on top of a building like this. Just like that. And he says, so how about we just go in, kill everyone in the council, destroy the Enigma, and call it a day.
Yep. That was like,
that was just funny. And then Prime is like, no, we ain't killing anybody. But Windblade is like, we could probably pull it off because she's siding with Megatron, which I thought was funny. And then when Prime says, we're not killing anybody, but he says, oh, fine, but I'm still killing Starscream. And Prime's like, no killing anybody, especially Starscream. And he's like, ugh, do I have to listen to you? So they end up getting caught on camera, and then they're confronted, like I said, by the Mistress of Flame, Rodimus Prime, and Starscream. And they're all wondering why they're there. At first, they thought they were there to kill them, but they explain themselves, saying that they're here to see the Enigma destroyed, and they will go back into exile. But Rodimus Prime does not believe that. Then Megatron just has his chat with Starscream, saying that he has everything all planned out, and Megatron's just saying that he should give it up because, like always, everything will fail in the end. And Starscream is just going on saying that he's trying to atone for his sins, and that is something Megatron should try doing. But Starscream keeps going on and on to the point Megatron just gets pissed off at him, and Megatron just disobeys Optimus Prime and just jumps in the air and just shoots Starscream. Like, he just doesn't give a shit. So, as they're fighting, and Rodimus Prime engages the defenses, they know they can't win the battle. So, about the minute that they're going to activate the Enigma of Combination, Devastator ends up showing up to the show. Like, since Rodimus Prime got his ass kicked, I think... No, he didn't get his ass kicked, but the ground caves in beneath him. Rodimus... Tell me how you feel about this, Ruben, but Rodimus Prime ends up falling into the dark hole. Devastator literally has him right here, like his whole head. Like, there's no way I could describe it. Like, he has this whole area. Devastator just grabs him, holds him like this, and just whoosh, does like a Megatron thing. But instead of tearing him in half, he just rips his whole arm off. And then starts laughing.
I was like, damn. How much fucking energy did he took?
Oh gosh, he's high on energy. He's like,
take some proteins, bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna take some steroids. Right? Don't use steroids. Steroids are bad.
No, don't do that. And real quick, I will say this: if you do take steroids, just know that. Well, I'll just say this: if you take steroids, like if you're a dickhead, you'll be like. I'll say this: if you're a dick, if you take steroids, you'll be even more a dick, if you know what I mean. But if you're a nice person, you'll just turn into an asshole. But yeah, don't use none of that shit. But anyways.
But also, your dick will be tiny.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
I don't know. If you want to look up the side effects of it, go ahead. But I ain't looking none of that stuff up. If you're curious. But anyways. Oh my gosh. But anyways. And so Optimus Prime sees this happen, right? Or Optimus Prime witnessed this happening, and Optimus Prime immediately assumes that Megatron betrayed them. But Megatron just says, look, if I wanted to betray you, you would already be dead right now. And I just like Devastator's voice. He just sounds like, you no longer give Devastator orders. Like, he has that kind of voice. Like it's like a muscle. He's like a muscular man that's been working out. That's how his voice sounds. Like a wrestler. But I just like that Megatron immediately is ordering Devastator to stand down, but like I said, Devastator just ain't having it. Because like I said, Devastator is just tired of being pushed around by Megatron to the point he just doesn't want to take orders anymore. And Devastator is just there for the enigma of combination for himself. So they end up fighting Devastator. And Prime ends up trying to kick his ass. Then another combiner shows up named Victorion. She just floats down from the sky with her big sword in hand. I think she had her sword in her hand. I don't remember. But she's just like, where is the enigma? And then this is my favorite response from Devastator when he hears this. Victorion just floats down, lands on top of the building, and says, where is the enigma? Devastator just says, it's mine! That's just funny. Where is the enigma? It's mine! The future of our people in your hands? I think not. I just thought that's funny. That's Devastator's response, is it's mine. You can't have it. Now screw off. I call dibs. I was here first, basically. So Victorion and Devastator end up having a fight. And everyone is freaking out because the Combiner Wars have showed up at their doorstep. They're all freaking out. Excuse me?
What?
Yeah. What's that?
I thought you said something.
Oh, I thought. But anyways, everyone's all freaking out. Then they have no choice but to use the Enigma. I don't know what Prime, Windblade, and Megatron are doing at this point, but I think they're out there trying to contain the situation. But here's where everything comes into play. They go to use the Enigma. Rodimus Prime tries to go use the Enigma, but because he lost an arm because of Devastator, Rodimus Prime cannot use the Enigma. So he just says, hey, I'm out of this fight. There's nothing I can do. Starscream looks at Mistress of Flame and she says, I can't do it because this won't work with my physiology or something like that. Like, she cannot access the Enigma. So pretty much everyone all looks to Starscream. Hold on a minute. And then they say he has to be the one to do it. Hey, TF and Geek, how are you doing today? Or tonight?
Hey guys, sorry for joining in so late. I don't know if I'll be able to stay throughout the whole live stream because I gotta get to bed early. I have an early day for work tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I have to get up right around 10 in the morning. Or actually, no,
I have to get up at 6 in the morning.
Oh God, yeah, I have to get up actually right around 9 and be ready to go by 10. And hopefully, after I get off work, I could go to the post office and hopefully, excuse me, I'll be able to get my package. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely wish me luck on that.
Oh yeah, I will.
And
so I hear, so I see by the title of your live stream video that tonight's topic is Combiner Wars, huh?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm gonna do Combiner Wars tonight and Titans Return tomorrow, and yeah, I'm gonna do all three of them. But is there anything you would like to share about Combiner Wars? or
Yes.
anything?
So, yeah, unlike most collectors who have grumbled about how Combiner Wars, well, by the time Wave 3 of the line was announced, which I believe was around uh, April of 2015 is when Wave 3 was announced, and then it was around between June and July of 2015 when Wave 3 was finally released. Our collectors and fans were already calling Combiner Wars by its nickname of the Repaint Wars, since
Oh gosh.
90% of the figures released during waves 3, 4, and 5, that's how many waves Combiner Wars lasted, was 5. Those subsequent waves were all, those figures, 90% of them were all repaints and retools of the figures released in the first 2 waves of Combiner Wars. I think the Combiner Wars Dead End mold was used 11 times
Yep.
on various characters.
Wow.
Yeah, and then the only figures that were released later in Combiner Wars that were new molds were Brawl. Some of the molds weren't released during until the last Combiner Wars figures were released in 2016, and then in 2018, in celebration of Combiner Wars, we got one solitary Combiner Wars figure in 2016, which was the deluxe class sized version of Protectobot Groove. And then in 2018, the very last Combiner Wars Transformers figure that was ever released was the space shuttle version of Blastoff.
Oh.
But yeah, what I was getting into before I started ranting on that history of Combiner Wars, this might be an unpopular opinion to this day, but I actually wholeheartedly enjoyed the Combiner Wars line. Even the fact that most of the figures were repaints of each other. I have to confess, as around the time the Combiner Wars line was released in 2015, I was feeling lazy about having to learn and memorize how brand new Transformers figures actually transformed and formed. And so I actually enjoyed how most of the Combiner Wars figures.
All right. All right. I had to
Actually,
do that. Go ahead.
I actually enjoyed how most of the Combiner Wars figures were repaints of each other, because I confess, at the time in 2015 when the Combiner Wars line was in full swing, I was lazy about having to memorize the transformations for brand new Transformers figures, and so having the figures be mold mates with each other, like figures from waves 1 and 2 being mold mates with figures released in waves 3 and 4, it made it easier to learn and memorize the transformation. And Combiner Wars was the line in which was the quickest that I learned how to transform brand new Transformers figures. Almost out of the box, I knew how some of the figures released in the final waves of Combiner Wars transformed, because they were repaints and retools of figures released in the first waves. Now, on that note, I do confess that, in my opinion, not every single figure in the Combiner Wars line is enjoyable. I managed to go completist on the Combiner Wars line, and I collected every single figure in that. And Combiner Wars was the first Transformers line in which I went completist and wanted to get every single figure released in that line. I came close with the previous Transformers line of action figures, which was the Thrilling 30 / IDW line that was released in 2013 and lasted throughout the year 2014. But infamously, I missed out on getting the largest Transformers figure from the Thrilling 30 line, which was the Titan class Metroplex figure. And
Yeah.
that's what drove me to go completist on the previous 6 Transform lines of Transformers action figures: Combiner Wars, Titans Return, Power of the Primes, Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom. That's what drove me to go completist and strive to get every single figure released in those 6 Transformers lines, was missing Metroplex in the Thrilling 30 line.
Oh.
But the point I mentioned was going to try and mention a moment ago before I started ranting. I apologize for ranting.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, thank you. But what I was going to get is that I do admit to what most I do admit to agreeing with what a vast majority of Transformers fans and collectors say about Combiner Wars, in that not every single figure in the Combiner Wars line was a gem, and there are a couple of figures that were released in the Combiner Wars line that can be considered duds. And some of them were a little disappointing. One of the figures that was a real disappointment was Brawl, and that's because Brawl infamously had a loose pelvic joint that prevented his robot mode torso from locking in place properly, and so Brawl was the only Combaticon who was not a repaint or a retool of either a Stunticon or an aerial bot. No, Stunticon, yeah. Who was not a repaint of one of the Stunticons, or one of the Protectobots was the other combiner team I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because Brawl, infamously, his robot mode didn't peg or hold together too well, Brawl unfortunately became the example of the Combiner Wars line, how even introducing a entirely brand new mold didn't necessarily mean that the figure was going to be that great.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of all the figures in the Combiner Wars line that I would call duds, and by a dud I mean the figure was absolutely pointless in releasing, and it was a waste of plastic to create this Transformers figure. Out of all the figures in the Combiner Wars line that I consider a dud, the one I consider an absolute dud would be the last one that I collected. That made me complete eat the Combiner Wars line, which was the individually packaged Voyager class Scattershot figure.
Okay.
Yeah, because that version of Scattershot had a very bland, and simple paint job, and the fact that we ended up getting all of the Technobots in a box set for Computron. Before that box set was released, a lot of Transformers fans and collectors were worried that because we got Scattershot released by himself, that Hasbro and Takara Tomy had no plans whatsoever on designing new figures for any of the other Protectobots, and so everyone thought Computron's torso was the only part of Computron we were going to get in Combiner Wars. So the fact that we ended up getting a box set of Computron eventually, it makes the individually released version of Scattershot absolutely pointless. And the main reason I got the individually packaged Combiner Wars Scattershot figure, yeah, I got that figure in 2018 off of Amazon. Someone was selling it for just $14, brand new in the box. So you can tell how valuable that figure has been for collectors, since I found it for $14 2 years after it was released 3 years after it was released in 2015. But the main reason I got that figure is because I gave Scattershot's laser gun to my Power of the Prime's Abominus combiner, so he could have a laser gun in his combined mode. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and out of all the figures in the Combiner Wars line that I would consider a disappointment, the figure they could have designed better, but I'm still happy that I got it just because I wanted a figure of the character. The biggest disappointment from the Combiner Wars line for me would have to be Onslaught.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the way they retooled Hotspot into Onslaught. No, I'm sorry. That was just a poor design choice, having Onslaught be Hotspot flipped around and his fire truck cab, his windshield removed, and just switching out the fire truck ladder with a set of missile launchers. Yeah, out of all, yeah. Onslaught is the figure from the Combiner Wars line that I think was the biggest letdown.
Okay. And I'm curious, what did you think about the series of Combiner Wars?
Here's the thing. Considering how unavailable the Transformers Prime cartoon series was since it originally aired on the Hub. Like to this day, I have never watched season 2 of Transformers Prime or
Mhm.
most of season 1 because uh, I didn't have access to Hasbro's television channel, the Hub, since it was on a cable provider that I couldn't afford to get. I didn't get into
Ugh.
the Primes. I didn't get into the Transformers Prime franchise until Beast Hunters had started, and so season 3 is the only season of Transformers Prime in which I've watched every single episode. So because the Prime Wars Trilogy cartoon series was released on originally on Meshinima's YouTube channel and it was available to see right away, I wholeheartedly enjoyed it because the previous Transformers series in which I'd seen every single episode was Transformers Animated before watching the Prime Wars Trilogy cartoons.
Mm.
And to be honest, and since television censors are much more restrictive than those on that people that are on the internet, some people might refute that statement. But that's what I've seen is that censors on television are a lot more restrictive than what they are on the internet. But
Yeah.
yeah, I wholeheartedly enjoyed the overall story. There were some moments where I said I can't believe they did that, such as uh, the way they showed the combiner characters, but then half of the episode focused on Starscream and Hot and Hot Rod and the Mistress of Flame trying to stop the combiners from fighting each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the biggest disappointment for me with Machinima's Combiner Wars series was that the only combiners who actually appear on screen are Computron, Victorion, Minosaur, and Devastator.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they had included if they had also included Superion, Bruticus, and Computron, then I think the series would have had a more decent storyline to tell.
Uh,
Like if it had
oh, and-
focused on it had put more focused on the combiners fighting each other and creating destruction, and Starscream like pretending that he was going to stop the combiners from destroying Cybertron, but then Starscream tricks everyone and reveals that he just wanted to bide his time until the combiners had destroyed everything, and then he would declare himself the leader of Cybertron. I think that would have been a much more compelling storyline than what they actually did, where the focus was on Starscream's betrayal, not the combiners. Like
yeah.
if they had made Starscream's scheme the subplot instead of the main plot, I think that would have made the series much more interesting.
Yeah. And I'm I'm curious. I don't know if what did you think of episode 4 when you first see Megatron like fighting Devastator and Optimus Prime shows up and Optimus Prime
Yeah.
excuse me, Optimus Prime just says that he's not there to fight, but Megatron is just getting in his head that Prime or peace has taught Prime nothing and that he craves war.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting line, but I didn't really like the pacing.
Hmm.
Because it felt that Megatron and Optimus Prime's one-on-one conversations, it's like we need to explain why everything is the way it is, and then Optimus Prime is like, "Oh, the combiners are destroying Cybertron. We need to hop into action." And so I felt the pacing was a little off. How it went from super slow and calm to abrupt action.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that was kind of the layout of the original Transformers Generation 1 cartoon series, but the transitions from quiet to action-packed moments, it wasn't like the way you snap your fingers, like boom, boom, boom. It's like slow, fast, slow, fast. There were scenes that transitioned between the calm and the action-packed scenes in the G1 cartoon series, and that was common storytelling for cartoons in the 1980s. Like there was build up to the action is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But in the Machinima's Combiner Wars series, there was no build up to the fight scenes. It was all of a sudden like we see these one Transformers characters having a calm, quiet conversation, but then all of a sudden it like shows the other Transformers characters are fighting each other, and it's like, wow, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But on that note, I did enjoy the overarching plot where Unicron was where Unicron's body was destroyed prior to the series, and he was having a Megatronus Prime, aka the Fallen, overload, and the corrupted Hot Rod, Rodimus
Yeah.
Unicronus,
Yeah.
working to steal the Matrix of Leadership and the Enigma combination to restore Unicron's body. I enjoy. Well, here's my bias. The first Transformers cartoon series I ever watched was Transformers Armada, and so I thoroughly enjoy when a Transformers storyline has Unicron in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I definitely look forward to talking more about that. But yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious, was there anything that you didn't like, or excuse me, things you liked or things you didn't like about the series, or complaints?
Yeah, I liked how at the end it ended on a cliffhanger, showing that it was going to transition into the Titans Return series, because after Starscream, it looks like Starscream's been destroyed. The battle between the Combiners made Fortress Maximus awaken from his slumber.
Metroplex?
Oh yeah, Metroplex. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
But
no,
then-
you go. You're all good.
Yeah. But then, yeah, that was well, that's kind of leading more into Titans Return. But yeah, I enjoyed how
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting side by side with each other to try and put a stop to the Combiners' aggression, and Starscream being destroyed by the other Transformers, such as Windblade and everything. But one thing that I didn't like was the way they like introduced the Mistress of Flame, and then she dies off screen, or she dies when no one else is around to witness it, and then
Yeah.
The way that, because here's the thing, when Starscream dies, it's just like scenes when Optimus Prime dies. You know Starscream isn't dead for good. You know he's gonna come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew when Starscream was killed in Combiner Wars that he was going to come back as a ghost in Titans Return.
Or in some way, or in some form, which I won't spoil.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But
yeah. One thing that I did enjoy was the art style, where it looked like cel-shade animation. That type of animation was popular in the early 2000s, and that is what the Transformers Energon cartoon series infamously used, was cel-shade. And basically, cel-shade animation, it is a unique style of animation. It is a unique art style. What it is it's not quite CGI, where it's a full-blown three-dimensional cartoon. Cel-shade is where you add light and shadow to a two-dimensional animated cartoon. Like a traditional hand-drawn cartoon. So
yeah.
even though what I'm about to say, this term technically doesn't exist, but cel-shade animation is actually a 2.5 dimensional animation. Not quite traditional two-dimensional hand-drawn animation, but it's not quite a three-dimensional CGI animation like you'd see in a Pixar movie or in the Transformers Prime series. That was CGI. Yeah, Transformers Prime was CGI animation, and then Robots in Disguise 2015 and Transformers Cyberverse used a type of cel-shade animation, and then Transformers Animated used traditional hand-drawn animation.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, or traditional or two-dimensional animation, I should say.
And yeah, and like I said, I won't go into spoilers in the other two, but a lot of people seem to complain about this series a lot, and specifically, I'm going to name one of them. One of them being that sometimes the characters' mouths were not, or the lips weren't matching up with what they were saying, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, the animation on the character's speech patterns, it didn't match up with the dialogue spoken by the voice actors.
Yeah.
So instead of and it actually looked like a English dub of a Japanese cartoon.
Yeah.
With the mouths not met with the animation. I forgot the word. The animation not lining up with the dialogue spoken by the voice actors.
Yeah. And I'm curious, when you watch the series, does it bother you, or can you guys get around it and ignore it? Or
to be honest, I can get around it because it just reminded me of when I honestly didn't notice it until people pointed it out, that the way the characters, the animation models, the way their lips moved, it didn't match up with the dialogue. I honestly didn't notice it until people pointed it out to me. But even after I had it pointed out to me, it wasn't really wasn't really bothered by it, because it just reminded me of a Japanese English dubbed cartoon, where the mouths don't quite match up with the dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't bothered by it too much.
Okay.
Because again, even though I didn't enjoy the pacing of the story, the overall story of Combiner Wars, I wholeheartedly enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Because before Combiner Wars, the previous cartoon series, Transformers series that we saw Combiners fighting was Transformers Energon.
Oh yeah.
I remember what the Superior, Maximus, and the others.
Yeah, the three Combiners from Transformers Energon. Superior Maximus was the Autobot Combiner, and then the two Decepticon Combiners were Bruticus Maximus and Constructicon Maximus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's technically only been 4 Transformers cartoon series that have shown Combiners fighting each other. Generation 1. Oh no, I'm sorry, 5 cartoon series, Transformers series that have shown Combiners fighting. Generation 1, Robots in Disguise 2001, Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015, Combiner Wars, and oh yeah, that was it. Those are the 5. Generation 1, Robots in Disguise 2001, or Car Robots, Transformers Energon, Robots in Disguise 2015, and Combiner Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I'm curious, do you guys feel like the series, well, I mean, each episode, hold on a minute, let me make sure, because I think each episode is right around the 5-minute mark. Hold on, I want to make sure, so I can, that way I don't make a mistake. Hold on a sec. I'll just check the playlists. Yeah, each episode runs right around 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, some of them are 6 minutes, but some of them are 5 minutes. But I'm curious, do you think the story was rushed, or do you think with the amount of time the episodes ran, like between 5 minutes to 6 minutes, do you think season 1 or part 1 ended off pretty good, or do you think they could have done a lot more?
Considering the limited budget that I'm sure Machinima had, and the time crunch that Hasbro allowed, which from what I remember hearing was very short. Or I think the episodes being 5 minutes is a decent length of time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I remember that's one of the main reasons Hasbro approached Machinima to make the series, was because at the time in 2015, Machinima had a reputation of churning out animation content faster than any other YouTuber at the time. Don't quote me on that because I'm not certain, but I thought I read an article that was one of the reasons why Machinima was chosen to do the Prime Wars Trilogy series instead of Hasbro asking a larger animation studio to do it.
Yeah. I'm curious. Do you guys think this series ain't getting enough love? Like, do you think people are being too harsh on it, or do you, like I hear? Let me give an example. I'm not gonna name names. Plus, I don't remember the name of the YouTuber, but I'll just say this. One of the YouTubers I watched that did a review on this said that he did not recommend this series for any Transformers fan, even for a beginner of Transformers. And I was like, that kind of seems a little harsh. Because, I mean, I enjoy the series. Like, I have no problem with it. I like this. I gotta say, I think this series has a unique soundtrack, in my opinion. Like, it's not a traditional Transformers soundtrack, but it has a unique soundtrack. Like, they did their own thing in this series. But do you think people are too harsh on it, or do you think it deserves
I think people. Yeah, no, I agree. I think people are too harsh on it.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, if I had to choose between watching Transformers Beast Wars and watching Transformers Combiner Wars, I'd take Combiner Wars over. I'm sorry, not Beast Wars. I meant to say Beast Machines.
Oh, yeah.
Watching Transformers Beast Machines and watching Transformers Combiner Wars, I'd choose Transformers Combiner Wars any day.
I have to agree.
Instead of watching Transformers Beast Machines.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. I totally agree. I mean, you might as well give them that option. What would you rather watch? Beast Machines or the Prime Wars trilogy? To be honest, I would rather sit through and watch the Prime Wars trilogy for the rest of my life instead of spending the rest of my life watching Beast Machines.
Yeah, I don't care what people say. I think Beast Machines is the overall worst Transformers cartoon series that was ever made.
I'll tell you this. Here, let me tell you this before I'm not going to go into Beast Machines, but I'll say this. Do you know how far I get on Beast Machines?
How far
do you know where?
How far into the series?
I stopped watching immediately when they turn into their new forms from the first step. Yeah, when they're when they're like, it's the regular rat, the gorilla, the cheetah, the spider. As soon as they get their new forms, I'm done. Turn it off. That's the end of the story.
Well, I don't know if this makes me very brave or very stupid, but the first time I watched Beast Machines, which was the only time I watched Beast Machines, I sat through all 39 episodes of Beast Machines. I made it to the end of the series.
I mean, there was some I'll probably do this in another video because I would like to do a roasting video on Beast Machines, but I'll just say this: some of them, like, I think they could have done Optimus Primal's head. I liked his gorilla and robot mode, but I think the head needed to go. But I could not stand a lot of the robot modes. Like, for example, like the plant. Hold on a minute, Ruben, you there?
What?
Your phone kept vibrating. Just let you know.
Oh shit!
I don't know what. Yeah. But anyways, like the bat and the plant looking thing. If you know, I'm not gonna try to remember their names. Night Scream was the.
Yeah, Night Scream was the Bat Maximal, and then Botanica.
Yeah.
Botanica was the name of the plant transformer.
I'm sorry, Botanica did not. I looked at that. That did not belong. I was like, this does not look like a transformer. There's no way that even in robot mode, it looked like it couldn't transform.
Yeah. The first time I watched Transformers Beast Machines was 2018. This is 15 years after I became a Transformers fan in 2003. And in that 15-year time frame, before I watched Beast Machines, I thought to myself, I wonder if they'd ever consider doing a Transformers character that transformed into a plant. And after I watched Beast Machines, I was like, oh, they already did way back in 1998.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there it is. But yeah, I'm going to say this. I tried watching Beast Machines so many times, but I just cannot handle it. Like, I just don't get like literally. And they were gonna go eat. Like I said, I'll get to this and I'll probably talk about Beast Machines in another video. But all I know is they tried to do a season 3 or something like that, or a different story involving the Beast Wars, but it was going to be like beasts and vehicles combined. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, and the reason why they were going to do that is because it kind of ties into what happens at the at the end of the Transformers Beast Machines series.
Yeah.
Because they basically do a plot twist where it finds out that this entity that's found at the center of Cybertron in the Beast Machines cartoon series, it's called the Oracle, but in more recent years in the Transformers franchise, it's Primus. Because starting in the Transformers Cybertron cartoon series in 2005, and it's been told in just about every Transformers series since then, the creator of the Transformers, Primus, Planet Cybertron is Primus's vehicle mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically in the Beast Machines cartoon, they did this revelation where it's revealed that Planet Cybertron wanted the Transformers to be half organic and half mechanical life forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar to like cyborg characters where they're half organic components and half machines, like androids.
And also, I just want to say this. You know what else did not make sense to me in Beast Machines versus Beast Wars? They literally, and I don't want to go too much into it because I'd like to save it for another video, but literally in Beast Wars, they explain what that portal thing was that got them to Earth. Like it was just some random anomaly in space that they never seen before. But literally, when you go into Beast Machines, Primal literally said that Cybertron or the Oracle sent them to Earth to get organic life onto their bodies or scan beast forms so they could come back to Cybertron and bring it to Cybertron.
Exactly.
Like they messed up the story. And also I just want to say this. I look at the animation of the beasts in episode 1. They look terrible. They don't look finished. Maybe it's because it's dark and it's hard to see. Maybe that's what it is. But the animation looked bad. No offense.
No. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I'd have to say I'll just say this. If they would do a Beast Machines in live action, I would have to see what it looks like. But they probably ain't gonna do that because they already ruined their chances with that. But and plus, Beast Machines is pretty much, I don't know. Besides live action movies, I think Beast Machines is the darkest Transformers series because they wanted to go really dark on that series.
Yeah.
And ooh boy, they did. But I'm gonna say this. I don't care what people say. No offense, but this is my opinion. I'd rather watch the Prime Wars trilogy instead of Beast Machines. And also, for those who are saying that the Prime Wars trilogy is bad, I'll just say this. Go watch Transformers Beast Machines, why don't you? And and see if your opinion changes. Because I'm going to say this. If I don't have... There's not a single Transformers series that I hate. I mean, I didn't... At first, I never liked Beast Wars after first watching it, but a couple years later, after rewatching it, I liked it. Same for Car Robot. I was hesitant on watching Car Robots last year, but when I watched it, hey, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It had some good moments in there. It made me want to watch it again and again. But I'll say this. Beast Machines, like some people say that the Netflix trilogy of War for Cybertron, Siege, it did not give them watching that series, they did not have the energy to they did not feel like wanting to watch that again. It made me want to watch it again and again. I'll just say this. Beast Machines, I watched it a couple of times. I'll say this. I'll probably watch it again a couple years later after I forget what happens in every single episode. I'm going to watch it again just to refresh my brain. But I'll just say this. Beast Machines is something I will probably never try to sit down and watch ever again. And I hate to say this, that Beast Machines for me has to be the #1 worst Transformers series. I hate to say that as I hate to say this as a Transformers fan, but I have to say it's no good. I mean, they did it was good for what it was. I'll say that it's good for what it was, but in the end, I'll just say this: I would have rather taken. Wait, hang on. How many seasons did Beast Wars get?
Beast
3?
Wars. No, it got 4 episodes. It got 4 seasons lasting 13 episodes each.
Yeah, I would have rather had a season 5 of Beast Wars. I know that they were going to do that, but they went ahead and did Beast Machines. Plus, I would have rather seen Optimus Primal or Optimal Optimus as a bat and Megatron as a crocodile or a alligator. I think that was the plans. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but they didn't do it. Mm-hmm. I'll just say this. I would have rather taken a 5th season than see what I just saw.
Yeah.
And another thing, I cannot stand the look of Rat Trap. I just can't. He looks like an experiment gone wrong. Like someone experimented on a human and it went wrong. Like you could see the brain, you could see the intestines and all that stuff. It looks like a human. It looks like a robot human cyborg that got wheels.
It's almost like someone who needed a wheelchair had their legs surgically removed and had the wheelchair attached to their pelvis. I'm sorry to describe it.
Oh my gosh. I'm just saying Rat Trap looked terrible. But the toy released, you could give him legs, but he never got legs in this series.
No. And what cracked me up was that you spent 1.5 episodes building up to the reveal of his robot mode,
and he struggled transforming. And
exactly. So they spent 1.5 episodes building up to reveal that in the Beast Machine series, Rat Trap has a pair of wheels for the lower half of his body.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'll just say this. I was tired of... I would rather hear Maximals, Maximize, Predacons, Terrorize. I would rather hear all that than hear them say, I am transformed. I am transformed. I can't. Couldn't they come up with something better than that? Like, I am transformed. But I'm going to say, and plus, I'm going to say this, seeing Ryan, you know what? I might add, since I'm talking about Beast Machines, I'm going to also put a little bit of Beast Machines on the title. I might redo the thumbnail. But I'm going to say this. Seeing Rhinox become a bad guy in this literally did not make sense to me. Like, I know Otto will go on and on about that. Like, that's not Rhinox. He totally would not do that.
And to be, now that you've mentioned it, that is what made me hate Beast Machines. Was they turned Rhinox into Tankor and then had him killed before he had a chance at experiencing some type of salvation. It's like, nope, we're done with Rhinox. We're getting rid of him in the most despicable, and I forgot I can't think of any other words to use to describe it. The most despicable and backstabbing
way possible.
Way possible, exactly.
Yeah, I could not handle that. And even when they tried to save Rhinox, Primal just agreed to let Rhinox have his own free will, which I respect that. Like, I like Optimus Primal's reasoning. Like, when Cheetor and Rat Trap are like, are you out of your mind? I like Primal just says, if we tamper with his mind and force him to do something he doesn't want to do, then we are no better than Megatron. So I know they wanted to save their friend, but I like in the end, Primal just lets him go. Like, he has his own free will. He could go do whatever he wants. But still, he just did not want to be any better than Megatron in the end. But I'm just saying, even messing around with the key to Vector Sigma just crossed the line also.
Oh yeah.
And also teasing me with an Optimus Prime hologram in one of the episodes, thinking that it's Optimus Prime, but in the end it was really Megatron.
Oh yeah.
And I hated that Optimus Prime was voiced by the same actor that played Primal. But I get it. But I'm glad Peter Cullen didn't come back for that, because I would hate to see him in that.
Yeah. I think yeah. To be honest, no discredit to Gary Chalk, but his Optimus Primal voice is very distinctive compared to Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime voice.
Yeah. And I'm curious on what you two, because I'm going to go into this. I'm not going to go into I don't think that there's any good whatsoever in Beast Machines. If there is, we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm going to go into the bad, like the bad of it. But what is the one?
Wait.
Starting with you.
Hold on.
Go ahead, man. Anyway, starting with you, TFN Geek. What is some of the things that you really hated and like you could not stand in Beast Machines? Like, I'm sure you could go all day with it, but yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, the one thing that really irked me was when Black Arachnia figured out that one of the Viacon generals was Silverbolt, and she goes out of her way to try and help him, but then they do the plot twist 5 episodes later where, oh, it's not Silverbolt who she's helping, it's Waspinator.
That was funny. So.
And he was faking the whole time because he wanted to try and be free of Megatron's grip on him. And then they did the backstory revealing how at the end of Beast Wars, we see Waspinator sitting amongst the hominids on prehistoric Earth, and that he made one little mistake that upset them, and so they banished him from Earth. And
how did he get back to Cybertron? Literally, exactly. Made no sense.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
The things you didn't like.
Yeah. And the character of Noble Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you already established earlier in the episode that Night Scream was the very last surviving Transformer that had escaped Megatron's control. And so you know when the character of Savage Noble shows up that he's Megatron. And the plot twist where he actually was Megatron, it wasn't that shocking when it occurred.
Yeah. Yeah. And all right. Is there anything else that you can think of right now?
Not about the Beast Machine series itself, but I will say this. The purpose of your live stream was to discuss Combiner Wars, and if anyone's watched the video up to this point, this is how much more worse of a series Beast Machines is than Combiner Wars. We've ranted more about Beast Machines than we have Combiner Wars throughout this live stream, throughout this video.
Yeah, I know. But I'm gonna put it in the title, that way people know. But I'm gonna say this. The point I'm gonna make is this: that, like I said, I'm not gonna try to. I probably am not gonna try buying. I'm not gonna try to buy any of the figures from Beast Machines, but I may buy the Thrilling 30s Tankor figure. I might buy that, but other than that, I'm probably not gonna buy any of the figures or try watching that series again.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna pretend it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll buy the figures. I don't give a SS.
Yeah. Yeah. I own the Generations Tankor figure.
Mm-hmm.
And as a standalone figure, it's a pretty fun figure to have in your collection. I'll say that about the Generations Tankor figure that was released.
Yeah,
it's a little hard to find because as people who wanted to army build Tankor with the tank drones bought multiple copies.
Oh gosh.
It can be a little hard to find, but
Yeah.
yeah. But
Um.
I can think of worse things about Beast Machines than I can about Combiner Wars, because at least you didn't have terrible animation models for the characters in Combiner Wars. I loved
Thank
the
you.
in Combiner Wars the animation models for the combiners, Minosaur, Computron, Devastator, and Victorion. The animation models at least looked like the action figures that they were based on. And when I saw
Yeah.
the series, I realized they were doing the same thing that they did with the Generation 1 series back in 1984, where the action figures were released first and then the animation models for the models came out late afterwards.
Mm. I'm gonna say this, and I'm curious. I was looking at photos. Do you have a Computron, that combiner?
I do. Like I said earlier in the live stream, I went completist and I have every single
Oh yeah.
Transformers Combiner Wars figure. But unfortunately, I ran out of shelving space, and so most of my Combiner Transformers, I keep them stuffed in a storage bin, transformed into their vehicle modes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you recommend the that Computron figure? Because I was looking at that figure. I might actually get that, but I'm curious if there's anything I need to be aware of, or if that's a. I'm curious.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing with Computron. The version that was released by Takara Tomy, they use completely different figures for the limbots that form Computron's legs,
It's true.
eggs,
Yeah.
nose cone, and light speed, and also the uh, Technobot that forms Computron's left arm, the jet arm strafe.
Yeah.
Strafe, light speed, and nose cone use completely different molds. The only ones that are the same, that are almost the same, are Afterburner and Scattershot. And unlike the Hasbro
Jesus.
version of Computron, which came with a pair of actual combiner hands and feet,
Mm-hmm.
the Takara Tomy version of Computron came with the same hand foot laser guns that most of the Combiner Wars figures came with. And by contemporary reckoning, the general consensus I saw collectors back in 2016 when when the Hasbro and Takara Tomy versions of Computron were released, the best Computron figure you can have is to use the Hasbro versions of Scattershot and Afterburner, the torso and the right side arm, along with
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro's actual combiner hands and feet, but then use the versions of Strafe, Lightspeed, and Nose Cone, the left side arm, and the two legs from Takara Tomy's version. If you can do a part swap of those two figures and have all those parts, then you'll have the best Computron that was released by Hasbro and Takara Tomy.
Okay.
Hasbro's version of Scattershot, Hasbro's version of Afterburner, Takara's versions of Strafe, Lightspeed, and Nose Cone, and then Hasbro's combiner hands and feet.
Mm.
But yeah, I
Okay.
think Computron is a figure that's worth having, because one thing that the Hasbro version of Computron comes with that the Takara version does not is a sixth team member in the form of the tiny Legends class sized version of the character Scrounge, who's
Mm.
a repaint of Titan's Return Cosmos.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but I might have to go back to work. But I want to say one thing about Computron. I highly recommend it, but here's the thing, though. Like TFNG said, if you want the Takara Tomy version, which is the better figure than the Hasbro one, am I right?
Yes.
You know, the Hasbro one had the two figures was only exclusive to that one. And plus, one of them was on Marvel Comics a long time ago I think during the 80s or the 90s. I don't remember. I think the 80s.
Hmm.
No, I don't fucking know. But I do recommend. I don't know if they have any. Hold on, let me check. Wait, before I go, I gotta check.
Yeah. Yeah, and I might have to get up for work in the morning, but
Yeah.
Huh?
I might have to call it quits too. I will say this one last thing about the Combiner Wars Computron version. I got one of the upgrade kits that was released by Perfect Effect, which gives Computron a new combiner head and a new chest plate, because the worst thing about Hasbro's version of Computron is that the combiner head and chest on Computron are virtually identical to Superion. The only difference is a color change in the plastic used on it. So Hasbro tried to make Computron Superion's twin brother in that regard.
Yeah, it's kind of a lazy work on that. I'm not gonna watch it. That's kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for that character, that figure.
Okay.
Jeez.
And I'm curious, is there any final thoughts or anything like that on the Combiner Wars season? Like anything you guys want to mention real quick?
Yeah. I will admit I hated that in the finale of Combiner Wars, when Megatronus Prime arrives on the battlefield, I hated that he destroyed one of Victorion's arms, and she was left with one hand throughout her appearance in Titan's Return.
Oh, you mean Power? You mean Titans? No, hold on.
Yeah, Titans.
Oh yeah,
Power.
Yeah, that was in Titan's Return that happened.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I got it mixed
up.
No,
it's all good. It's all good. It happens.
Yeah, but I will say this: the one gripe I have with the Combiner Wars series is that they didn't have all of the combiners from G1 appear in that series. I can understand Predaking and Abominus not appearing in the Combiner Wars series, but
yeah,
to have Superion, Bruticus, and Defensor absent, I was hoping that during the later episodes that those three would arrive and it would be like there's a second wave of combiners that are now fighting on Cybertron, and now they have to be stopped as well. I was kind of hoping that they would use the introduction of those three combiners to like show just how destructive the combiners can really be. But they did. But yeah, that's my main gripe with Combiner Wars, is that Superion, Bruticus, and Defensor never appear in the show.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And one of the complaints I have to make is that you don't get to, well, I mean, briefly in some of the other, in the next season, and also in the Megatron episode, but you hardly, well, it's only the Devastator components, but you don't even ever see the other components disengaged. Like, for example, well, like Devastator, you do see Long Haul. It's pretty much the only one that you see in robot mode, and the only one of the other component pieces you see is when whenever one of Victorion's combiners, the helicopter, I forgot her name, but I know it's the helicopter one, just dropped him off, and that's in the next season. But you just don't see them disengaged into their each individual robot forms, which I thought was
Yeah, it's almost like the individual. They almost portrayed the combiners in Combiner Wars the way they were portrayed in Transformers Energon, where individual robots only exist to form the combiner, and their own robot modes, their own personalities, their own vehicle modes. They only do it if they have to disengage to like survive the battlefield.
Yeah,
it's a combat situation, but other than that, no.
And real quick before I end off, I'm curious, how did you feel that the Autobots were treated, like the Autobots and Decepticons were treated as just Cybertronians, like their own species? The Caminus, or or Windblades people, they were treated as just their own species, and the Combiners were a separate species. Like each, like you know what I mean. Like, how did you guys feel that like they were all like there's I guess a planet full of Combiners? Like, how did you feel about that? Like that. I guess in this series we found out that there's different species of Transformers. Like they're not all the same. Like Autobots and Decepticons are pretty much Cybertronians. Combiners are their own thing, and same for Windblades people. Like, how did you guys feel about that being addressed?
I hated it.
Okay. And I guess you would have preferred that if that all of them were just treated as equal, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would have preferred if they'd all been portrayed as just being either Autobots or Decepticons and just having different skills and abilities.
Okay. All right. I get you. All right. And how about you, Ruben, real quick?
Combiner Wars, the show of the Combiner War was okay for me. The character, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't give a rat's ass. Even the toy ones are great. Some of it, kind of repetitive, like Tia Fanky said.
Yeah.
Dead end because it's my boy.
Prime. But not Megatron. Megatron was good. I like that Megatron.
Oh yeah, the Ludicrous Megatron it was dope as hell. It had like rubber treads, like actual working treads. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, that was what made it a sought after figure.
Yeah, even the repaint is like remold of Armada Megatron, which I saw one in the flea market years ago. I wanted to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And pretty much that's it.
All right. And well, for me, I'll just say this: I recommend this series instead of watching like I when we talked about Beast Machines a little bit. I would recommend this series instead of Beast Machines. That's all I can say. This series is really good. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but I'm just saying this. I would totally recommend this series for a beginner of Transformers. I'm just saying it. A lot of people are going to ignore that that this series ever existed. And I feel like this series has been pretty much forgotten. And that's another reason why I'm doing this video. Hopefully some people will see this and try to look into it, and hopefully they'll give it a chance. And I've been saving this question for, and I do have to ask this real quick. Besides what we're going to be seeing in the next two, I'm curious, from Combiner Wars, do you think this could somehow fit in the G1 universe or as its own thing?
Its own thing.
Okay. And you, Ruben? How do you feel?
Just own thing, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
I'll say this. I wouldn't mind if they introduced Victorion to the G1 series.
Oh, okay.
Just bring Gigawatt and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. Go back to the past.
All right. Oh, and real quick, when I was playing Transformers Earth Wars, I'm curious. What do you guys think of this name? One of the user names that a guy had on there, they combined Gigawatt's name and Shockwave's name and made Gigawave. Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that name, Gigawave?
Interesting wave. I mean, interesting name. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay.
But then you could also combine the other halves of their names and you can create the name Shockwatt.
That's kind of funny. All right. Anyways, would you guys like to share where they can find you and any updates you guys have going on?
Yeah, sure. So you guys can find me here on YouTube. You can find me on Discord. I love to talk everything Transformers. I got some reviews coming up, which I'm hoping to do this week. And thank you for having me on here, Lord Master Starscream. And thank you, Ruben Soto, for being a fantastic friend. And yeah, I'm expecting a Transformers figure to arrive later this week.
Okay.
Yes,
You're welcome.
thank you both. Both
All
for
right.
yeah, it's coming from eBay, and I thank you both once again, especially you, Ruben Soto, for introducing me to eBay gift cards.
You're welcome. I'm the black market.
Oh God. And you, Ruben?
Well, I'm too tired to say, but they can find me on my main channel, my gaming channel, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Steam, Discord, Twitch, TikTok, Stereo, not Stereo. I haven't used Stereos in years, so forget about that.
Ugh.
Anchor, Patreon. If you want to be a Patreon, it's just cheap. It's $1, and also I am selling stuff on Instagram. It's $1. So if you guys have Steam, buy some stuff. I need money. I have a lot of videos to work on, but also tomorrow I will upload the monthly toy hunt for this month, which is January, because I did one for today at Target.
Nice.
And you're
Mhm.
gonna and I think that on like 30th, which we're on right now, is gonna be the good one because I did find some good stuff. Plus, I found a second copy of Caustic that I need.
Nice.
Now I just need to get the default skin Octane, Hit and Run Octane, and Team Lift Pathfinder, and that's it. So I can complete Wave 2 and 4. Oh
Okay.
yeah, and I found some new Hot
Anything
Wheels
else?
color reveal for Series 2. I showed a star screen for it,
Mm.
Oh yeah.
but I didn't have time to get the information of what cars in there. I know there's 6 cars. I think I'm gonna buy like all 6 barrels on Amazon until the boy pays me of the figures and the Lego minifigure I got him from Walmart.
Yeah.
And I got it right. It was White Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Mm.
Yeah. And and I did forget to mention, thanks to Ruben for helping me out. I was able to get get 2 more of the Marvel minifigures of White Vision and Scarlet Witch, and also like hang on real quick. Is there anything else, Ruben, before I go on?
The only thing you're missing is Zombie Captain America, and I'm missing T'Challa and Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Right. Is there anywhere else or anything else you want to mention?
No,
Or-
but hopefully the next Sunday, I hope we'll go to the GameStop, the one from Roswell, so I could get the Rainbow Six extraction poster that one of the workers is saving for me.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. And real quick, I'll full screen myself, but hopefully this Friday. Well, real quick, my Rhinox figure hopefully will be in sometime this week, hopefully, or maybe next week on Monday, maybe. I'll have to wait and see. So I'll be getting that in the mail, and also I ordered since a new Halo series trailer, or they're releasing a Halo series that'll be on Paramount Plus. I decided to buy a Master Chief since I like Halo. So I got a Master Chief figure that should be coming in on this Friday, hopefully.
Nice.
And yeah, and tomorrow I will be like I said, I'll have to get up in the morning and go to work, and hopefully after I get off work, like I said, definitely please keep me in prayer that I can get this thing right here all worked out, and I can get my DLX Soundwave figure in hand, because I'm just going to say this. I don't know how I'm going to feel if I have to walk out of that post office knowing I probably lost $300, a $300 item that I could not get my hands on.
Ugh.
And I might have to do the return crap or something. I don't know.
Well,
but I could give you something like a random figure, like another Apex figures or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And
Transformers.
But anyways, yeah, definitely keep your fingers crossed and keep me in prayer because I'm literally nervous about tomorrow, and I'd never been this nervous in a day in my life. But if I'm unable to pick it up, definitely keep your fingers crossed that I can figure out how to do a redelivery, because they still give me the to do that. So I might end up needing some help doing that. But yeah, just like I said,
Okay.
keep me in prayer that Mistress Slipstream right over there.
I'll pray for you.
Yeah, because I don't want to spend $300 for nothing. And I'm just literally gonna rant on if they won't let me have it, I'm just gonna rant on all day if I have to until the post office closes, just saying, look, this thing cost me $300. I need this package. Nah, I won't do that because you wouldn't see me on here anymore. But yeah, but immediately when I get home, hopefully I'll do a live unboxing. I'll get everything all set up but yeah, like I said, definitely keep me in prayer. And hopefully I'll get it in my hands, and I won't have to go through no drama.
Oh yeah,
Because I drama when I wake up.
Oh gosh, but like I said, since it's labeled as Lord Starscream, hopefully I can just have Mistress Slipstream help me out, and I could just say it was for our channel and all that stuff. So hopefully they could. Plus, like I said, the person that walks in with this should be able to get it. Hopefully, yeah. But like I said, I'll definitely keep me in prayer, and also thank you TFN Geek for the prayers.
Oh, you're welcome. Very
much.
Yeah.
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 And all. Oh, I was gonna say, and I definitely look forward to the figures you'll be getting in the mail also.
Oh yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, I have the day off, so I'm hoping my family won't ask me to do any chores that will take up my day-long schedule, because I'd like to use my day off from work to get some reviews done. So just you guys can pray for me that I have the time to do some reviews, because what I like to do when I do my video reviews, I like to do size comparisons, and even though my videos last about 20 minutes long, it takes me about 35 minutes to get the review itself, because of all the figures I have to transform off camera for the size comparisons I like to do. So
yeah,
you guys please pray for me that I can get a couple of reviews done on because that's my goal, is to start back up again doing my reviews, because there's a lot of Transformers figures I got that I want to get reviews on done. And so my next review might be this Transformers figure,
Megatron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I might review him next.
Right.
And then after him, I might do the Sparkless Seeker, then Shatterglass Starscream, and then I might get around to reviewing the big one,
the Ark.
The Ark.
Oh yeah.
Well, I want to get through my review of the Ark so I can finally do my top 10 Transformers video for 2021, because February is 2 days away, and so it'll already be a month into the year 2022 that I'll have done a top 10 video for last year's figures.
Yeah.
At least the good thing is I got my list of top 10 figures, so I don't have
That's good.
I don't have to choose. I've already chosen. Yeah, well, right. I got to get going to bed, Lord Master Starscream, so
yeah.
Thank you once again for being on here.
No problem. And you can find me here on YouTube, obviously at the Ghost of Lord Master Starscream. Same for my Instagram, my Discord page, and TikTok. And yeah, I think that's about it. And tomorrow I will be doing a review of Titan's Return, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be doing a live unboxing also of my DLX Bumblebee movie Soundwave.
If you can get it, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. But hopefully. Don't worry. Yeah. And thank you guys, and thank you for those who are watching this live stream, and hopefully you'll all give the Prime Wars trilogy a chance, even Titan's Return, I should say. And thank you, Ruben and TFN Geek, for joining. I'm glad you guys were able to join in.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
No problem. And this is the Ghost of Lord Master Starscream saying, Seekers, transform, and rain fire. Good night, everyone.